Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ARENA Roundtable on Accelerating Renewable in Central Asia. Today, we will exchange views on the opportunities and the challenges of advancing the energy transition in this region, with focus on mobilizing investments, enabling frameworks, and regional cooperation. APRECA will serve as a key platform to support this effort and to accelerate renewables deployment across Central Asia. To begin, I'm pleased to invite Mr. Francisco La Camara, Director General of ARENA, to deliver his opening remarks.
Thank you very much. So, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA, I am honored to welcome you to the ARENA Roundtable on Accelerating Renewables in Central Asia, hosted by the Minister of Energy of the Republic of Kazakhstan and Kaz Energy. I'd like to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to His Excellency's Minister Yerlan Akenov for his leadership and the strong partnership with ARENA that has made this roundtable possible. This roundtable provides a high-level platform to advance dialogue on sustainable energy transition pathway for Central Asia's countries. It also marks a vital step in following up on the commitment made under the historic UAE consensus at COP28 in Dubai, along with the launch of the Accelerated Partnership for Renewable in Central Asia, the so-called APRECA, made at COP29 in Baku last year. I am pleased to announce that Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, the Kyrgyz Republic, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan have all joined APRECA, reflecting the strong political will of the region to advance renewable energy deployment and deepen international cooperation under this initiative. As the custodian of the global target to triple renewable energy by 2030, ARENA plays a central role in tracking global progress and guiding efforts to accelerate the energy transition. In our recent published Renewable Capacity Statistic 2025 report, data showed that by the end of 2024, global renewable power capacity exceeded 4,543 gigawatts, with a record of 582 gigawatts added in a single year. Solar PV alone contributed more than 453 gigawatts, and wind power added over 114 gigawatts. Thus, renewables accounted for almost 91% of all new power capacity, underscoring a shift away from fossil fuel and nuclear. Additionally, ARENA's renewable power generation cost in 2024 confirmed that renewables are now the most competitive source of new power generation worldwide. The global weighted average cost of electricity fell to 3 cents of US dollar per kilowatt for offshore winds and 4.3 cents of dollar for kilowatts or hour for solar PV. Indeed, over 90% of new renewable capacity installed in 2024 deliver power at lower cost than the cheapest fossil fuel option. This finding highlights that renewables are no longer an alternative, but the default choice for new power generation for the investors. So, Excellencies, the global momentum carries particular significance for Central Asia. The region's energy demand is rising due to the rapid economic and demographic growth. With its abundant renewable resources and strategic geographical position, Central Asia has the opportunity to advance into a sustainable, low-carbon future and avoid lock-in with stranded fossil fuel assets. However, realizing this opportunity requires a a strong framework for regional cooperation and investment mobilization. This is the core premise of APRECA, which aims to rally international and regional partners around 4 pillars of cooperation: strengthening energy infrastructure and regional interconnectivity, promoting local value creation and green industrialization, advancing policy, institutional and regulatory frameworks and capacity building, and mobilizing private sector investment and improving access to finance. Several countries, including Tajikistan, Kyrgyz Republic, and Uzbekistan, has already identified priority areas under APRECA. For instance, the Kyrgyz Republic has requested support concerning the translation of the 2022 Grid Code report, the organization of the dedicated workshop, and the provision of targeted capacity building support. I'm pleased to share that we have already initiated work on this request with a view to completing them before the end of this year. Building on this momentum, our technical dialogue with other partners is deepening. With Uzbekistan, we are actively exploring how to co-develop a national long-term energy scenario platform and the advanced grid requirement needed to ensure stability. For Tajikistan and the Kyrgyz Republic, we are mapping out how their vast hydropower resources can be optimized to provide critical balancing services for the entire region, acting as a natural battery for the variability of solar and wind. And with Azerbaijan, we are discussing cutting-edge concepts like the development of green data center, harnessing demand and site flexibility to create a truly smart and interactive grids. These are the forward-looking conversations that will shape the next phase of APRECA work. Today's roundtable therefore seeks to expand this process, to identify partners from within the region and beyond who can provide in-kind and resource-based support to accelerate renewable deployment and maximize the socio-economic benefits of the energy transition. So, dear friends, our shared responsibility is to ensure that today's dialogue translates into concrete action. That is why IRENA, together with our partners, will also convene the second part of the Energy Transition Investing Forum for Central Asia next year in Azerbaijan, alongside Baku Energy Week. Through IRENA flagship project facilitation initiative, the Climate Investment Platform, and the Energy Transition Accelerating Financing Platform, IRENA aims to bridge the investment gap and promote bankable projects in developing countries. And we are also happy to say that we make a launch for a call for projects, and in the view of the next investment forum, we have already received 170 projects from all countries here in the region. And one of our, I think, greatest achievements through IDAF has been with our partners facilitating financial closure of 3 projects in Uzbekistan in 2024, which will power 1 million homes and produce a capacity of 900 megawatts of solar power. So, as we continue building on the momentum from COP29, today's discussion in Astana must serve as a catalyst for action, turning ambition into investment and investment to transformation. And what I also wish to say at the end of my introduction, that if the preliminary data concerning this year, 2025, are confirmed at the end of the year, we are going to an astonishing record of 750 megawatts of renewable energy capacity installed. What does it mean? It means that for the first time in recent years, we are very close to put the ship in the pathway that is consistent with 1.5 Celsius degree. But for doing this, we have to put all the renewables into the grid. So the grid integration is really the priority we have to afford in our work. So we are ready to listen, and we are ready absolutely to be at your disposal to make all your commitment with your plans to become a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Director General. It's now my honor to invite Mr. Yelan Akjanov, Minister of Energy of Republic of Kazakhstan, to deliver his keynote address.
Thank you very much. Honorable Excellencies, distinguished participants of the forum, on behalf of Ministry of Energy of the Republic of Kazakhstan and on my own behalf, I am honored to extend a warm welcome to all participants of today's forum. Central Asia stands on the threshold of a new stage of development. Our region is endowed with abundant natural resources, yet the key to a sustainable future lies in a decisive transition to a clean energy and the large-scale deployment of renewable energy sources. Over the past years, Kazakhstan has pursued a consistent policy of decarbonization and renewable energy development. What began as a series of pilot projects has now grown into a network of 158 operational renewable energy facilities with a combined capacity exceeding 3.2 gigawatt, including approximately 1.7 gigawatt of wind and more than 1.2 gigawatt of solar power. In 2025 alone, the commissioning of 9 additional projects with a total capacity over 450 megawatt is scheduled. Looking ahead to 2035, we plan to add not less than 8.4 gigawatt of new renewable capacity in cooperation with leading international partners. These measures will enable Kazakhstan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 15% by 2030, to achieve the carbon neutrality by 2060. For Kazakhstan, it is essential to pursue decarbonization in parallel with ensuring energy security and sustaining economical growth. In this context, the role of IRENA is of particular significance. Kazakhstan highly values IRENA's work in advanced knowledge, technology, and the best practices to accelerate the global energy transition. Our cooperation with IRENA has strategic importance. It is not only supporting and it's not only supports and develops the national renewable energy policy, but also strengthen the regional dialogue and the integration. We are convinced that further engagement with IRENA and with the international partners will allow Kazakhstan to achieve its national climate objectives and contribute meaningfully to the global process of energy transition. Today's forum provides a unique platform to bring together science, policy making, and international practice. I am confident that the discussions here will contribute to practical solutions for sustainable development and will further enhance regional cooperation. I wish all participants a productive exchange of views, constructive dialogues, and successful outcomes on the implementations of the new initiatives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. May I now invite Mr. Shahbazov, Minister of Energy of Azerbaijan, to deliver his keynote speech.
Distinguished Minister, Mr. Yerlan Akjanov, Distinguished Director General, Mr. Francesco La Camera, dear Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the government of Kazakhstan for the excellent organization of Kazakhstan Energy Week, for the warm hospitality and kind invitation to Honorable Minister, Mr. Yerlan Akjanov, and to Director General, Mr. Francesco La Camera, for providing the opportunity to participate in this important regional renewable energy platform. The APRECA initiative implemented by IRENA is a strategically important mechanism that fosters strong connectivity in the field of green energy between Central Asia, which is rich in renewable energy resources and critical materials, and neighboring regions, aiming to expand international trade and export opportunities while supporting the energy transition and supply security. The initiative, first presented in Azerbaijan last year within the framework of COP29, is already advancing successfully toward its goal through concrete common projects among our countries. Its first strategic example is the Central Asia-Azerbaijan Green Energy Corridor project. In Baku, the signing of the Intergovernmental Agreement on Strategic Partnership for the Development and Transmission of Green Energy among Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan, together with the signing of cooperation documents facilitating Saudi Arabia's participation as an investor in this project, demonstrate our country's determination and commitment in joint green energy partnership at the highest level. It should be particularly emphasized that in the vision of the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Mr. Ilham Aliyev, transforming Central Asia, the South Caucasus, and the Caspian region into a single geopolitical space and strengthening strategic partnership and alliance relations between our countries, green energy cooperation holds a key place. The creation of the geostrategically significant Trans-Caspian Energy Corridor, which for the first time in history will interconnect the power grids of our countries, is fully aligned with the main priorities of this vision and opens broad opportunities for the development of the Central Corridor as a green bridge linking Europe with Asia and China via the Caspian Sea. A joint venture, the Green Corridor Alliance, headquartered in Baku, has been established to develop the project. This month, a tender will be held to select a consulting company to carry out the project's technical and economic feasibility, and the process is to commence by the end of the year with the financial support from ADB and AIB. We must further strengthen our efforts through joint collaboration in this regard. Since a period of increasing clean energy production, sustainable use of renewable energy is not possible without interconnecting energy markets and establishing regional integration. Therefore, Azerbaijan's current large-scale efforts in the field of renewable energy are aimed not only at increasing the share of these resources in the domestic energy system to approximately 40% by 2030, but also at establishing regional and global partnerships. Work is progressing intensively for the supply of 4 gigawatt out of 6 gigawatt of wind and solar energy to be generated onshore and offshore by 2032 in Azerbaijan through the Caspian Black Sea Europe Green Energy Corridor to Europe. We are also working on the Azerbaijan-Turkey-Europe and Azerbaijan-Georgia-Turkey-Bulgaria Green Energy Corridor projects, both directly from Nakhchivan region of Azerbaijan and through Armenia. These projects, which connect the Southern Caucasus with Turkey and Europe, also have the potential to act as a bridge between Central Asia and these regions. We regard the Trans-Caspian Green Energy Corridor as a key element of a vast integrated green energy platform encompassing these regions. The vision involves the large-scale delivery of renewable energy from Azerbaijan and Central Asia to the Turkish and European markets, the integration of production and import hubs across a broad geography from Asia to Europe, as well as the management and balancing of the variability of renewable energy. Taking into account the fiber optic component of these projects, we can say that the Trans-Caspian Green Energy Corridor, together with other interconnectors, will not only enhance energy and environmental security, but also strengthen digital and transport connectivity, further increasing the geostrategic significance of our countries along the middle corridor. We are confident that our partnership will make a significant contribution to Central Asia's renewable energy targets, enhancing wider regions' energy security and supporting global energy transition goals. And I would like to thank again all our partners, the members of the IRENA, and also, of course, the Director General and the staff of the Secretariat for supporting this initiative. And we are hoping very much to intensify in the coming future all these activities. And of course, I would like to use this opportunity and to welcome all participating here colleagues to the next event, which are going to be planned next year in Azerbaijan. Thank you for your attention, and I wish every success to Kazakhstan Energy Week and to the ongoing work of IRENA.
Thank you, Your Excellency. To set the stage for today's discussions, I would like to now to invite Mr. Binu Parton, Deputy Director of Country Engagement and Partnership at ARENA, to give a scene-setting presentation on APRECA, highlighting the priority actions proposed by the countries and the way forward.
Thanks very much. If I can have my presentation up on the screen. Following up with the Director General, we want to give you an overall picture of what's happening in energy transition and renewable energy globally, and provide an update on what we have achieved since the launch of APRECA and what we plan to do. If I can have the presentation on the screen. I saw that it was played a bit earlier. Apologies for the inconvenience. Yeah, thank you. Next slide, please. Yeah, can we move to the next slide? Thank you. Apologies again. As you would see, renewable energy development is more easier and accelerating compared to information technology. As the Director General mentioned, we have seen significant cost reductions that have continued in the last year or so. And today, power from renewables is the reality. 91% of power generation globally is happening from renewable energy, relegating other options to the very distant second place. And that is happening primarily because of the economics of renewable energy, because of the scale in manufacturing, to some extent the overcapacity in the supply chain. Governments now have the opportunity to use renewable energy, use locally available solar and wind resources to provide the cheapest form of renewable energy to the population. And as the Director General mentioned, a major trend that we are seeing in the energy system is a significant transition from direct use of fuels to electrification. And the IRENA scenarios project that by 2050, 51% of energy will be provided by electricity. So this means a significant change in terms of the way we produce and use energy. The electrification of these end users will bring about a major shift in the way we use energy, the efficiencies, and our expectations based on the past is that most of this energy, electricity, will come from renewable energy. We're also seeing some major trends, which is evident in Central Asia and beyond. Electrification of transport is progressing at a much faster rate than what we expect. Last year, almost 20%, and in some markets, 90% or more than 50% of new vehicles sold are electric. Last year, it reached 17 million, and that, for the first time, the transport market or the investments by individuals in transport has slightly overtaken investments in renewable energy power. Another trend that we are seeing, and it was also alluded to by the ministers earlier, there's a significant electricity demand by data centers and artificial intelligence, which is actually growing at 4 times the rate of electrification. So this is a very immediate concern that some of the IRENA member states like Ireland or Singapore have actually placed an embargo on new data center licensing. So this is something which is happening in this region also. And we were very happy to hear about several ministers alluding to this. Another demand, which probably is not very evident today in a cold morning in Astana, is the need for heating. In this region, in Central Asia, we had very high temperatures during the summer, and the need for air conditioning and cooling is increasing. And that's increasing at about 50% more than the electrification itself. So what we see is that the trend towards electrification will be accelerated by these changes, AI, transport, and cooling and air conditioning demand. And most of these, if not all of this demand, will be met by renewables based on the resources which are available in the countries in this region. So this again strengthens some of the perspectives that IRENA provides. What is also happening, and I think the Director General alluded to this, is the need for investments in grid infrastructure. That is accelerating too. Last year, the investments in grid infrastructure was about 390 billion globally, and the battery energy storage systems, another major segment, saw a record level of investments of about 54 billion. So this put together about 360 or 350 billion, 450 billion, is still about 60% of the renewable energy investments. And as the Secretary General of the UN alluded to earlier in July, this probably needs to be similar to renewables. So I think that investments in grid and battery energy storage systems need to ramp up a bit more. And another trend that we are seeing globally is that the price of battery energy storage systems are going down significantly to the extent that renewable power, particularly solar, having 4 hours of battery storage integrated is becoming quite the norm rather than an exception. And we saw recently in the last 2 weeks, and these projections saw that, or projected that in 2025, the best cost will come below $100. But what we saw in the last 2-3 weeks in the GCC region is that the prices have dropped down to $73 to $75. So that trajectory will again accelerate integration of renewables, address some of the variability of the renewables. And this is something which, going forward, would again accelerate the role of renewables. And this is something where it's very timely, and as the Director General alluded to, and Honorable Minister Shahbaz have alluded to, in partnership with Azerbaijan, we launched the Accelerated Partnership for Renewables in Central Asia, which is an approach which has been successful in other parts of the world, and we are very happy to be doing this here with the engagement of all our member states. And we do have 4 key pillars, and again, the key is really fast-tracking investments. We need to enhance the infrastructure, and the ministers did allude to the regional interconnectivity, having a much larger market will optimize energy costs and investments for every country in this region. Policy and regulation is evolving, regulation of storage, regulation of AI data center demand, regulation of electric vehicles, integration, rollout. So the regulation is no longer power sector regulation, it's much more complicated, and there are examples from other IRENA regions that we can bring into. Institution capacity is important. Skills for AI in energy sector is missing in other parts of the world. So these are a number of things that we need to work, and we plan to work under APRECA in this region. As the Director General alluded to, we already have most of the countries who have expressed support for APRECA. We have done some scoping across the countries, which is continuing. We're seeing very clear needs for energy modeling, decarbonization of end use, development of strategies, integration of renewables, variable renewables into the grid systems, ensuring electrical system stability, also forecasting of energy. We have also seen interest for Solar City Simulator, a city-based tool which could be deployed in some of the capitals and cities in this region. There's continuing interest on green hydrogen, and very importantly, project facilitation, as the Director General alluded to. We hope to facilitate a large number of projects towards financing in the investment forum, which will hold in Azerbaijan next year. What we did in the short term is that we did produce an analytical piece on green hydrogen, looking at Central Asia and the South Caucasus. And we find that while the traditional approach has been more geared towards export, there is an opportunity to focus more internally in the domestic sector, in the industrial sectors of steel and chemicals, and then try to decarbonize that in preparation for the advent of the CBAM. There are also gaps in terms of skills and capacity in the green hydrogen as well. We also did a renewable energy, regional energy transition outlook for the Eastern Partnership countries, which did cover Azerbaijan. So the results of that were available and has also been shared with the country. Our hope is that this approach can be extended to Central Asian countries also in the next years or the years ahead. We have had a call for proposals, and as the Director General mentioned, we have had a very positive response of 170 proposals requesting a significant amount of funding. We will be doing more analytical work and focusing on the right set of projects to bring them to Azerbaijan next year and to facilitate them. From all the requests that IRENA has received, we feel that there is an opportunity for scoping this, analyzing a bit more in detail and discussing this further. So we would like to invite all the technical agencies from the region to Bonn end of this month, what we call as a LTS, the Long-Term Energy Scenarios Forum that we are going to organize, where we do hope to engage with technical institutions, the ministries, utilities from this region to scope these out, prioritize some of these opportunities, and what IRENA, with our limited resources and capability, can focus on in the short term. So all the countries will be receiving invitations in the next few days or week or so, and we do hope to see most of the countries represented in this forum in Bonn end of this year. And we are also planning to follow the model which we have done in Africa to develop work plans and both at the national level and regional levels to identify what needs to be done overall, to put some timelines and resources to this, and then prioritize and implement that. So I think the framework is already laid out. So as the Director General and the Honorable Minister Shahbaz have announced, we will organize a major investment forum next year in 2026, around June or so. We will continue these national consultations. We will continue to support the region with these regional energy transition outlooks. We also believe that there is an opportunity for a regional grid systems planning study where we could analyze the flexibility of the grid, what can be integrated, what are the overall demand as a region rather than in each individual country, and this is also something which we hope to start. And of course, we also need to mobilize resources from other IRENA donors and others for us to do more. and there are around the table a number of institutions which have the resources to support some of these activities. So we look forward to talking to many of the institutions to see how we can synergize efforts and address it in the shortest time period possible. So we remain very optimistic about the potential of APRECA. But again, IRENA is a relatively small technical agency. We need to work with the key partners, the ministries, institutions, to work with you to enhance and to accelerate this energy transition. So we look forward to doing that over the next weeks and months. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this insightful presentation. Next, we will move to the ministerial session.
Thanks very much. And Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, we now go to the more interactive part of it, and we'll start with the ministerial high-level panelists. I understand that some of the ministers would need to leave a bit early. So I would like to start with Honorable Minister Akhenjanov, Minister of Energy of Republic of Kazakhstan. Minister, we'd like you to tell us more about what are the energy transition priorities for your country, Kazakhstan, and how do you see a platform like APRECA fit into these priorities? And how can we do this support at the national level, perhaps also at the regional level? Minister.
Thank you very much for your question. In my remarks, I already have mentioned the plan of Republic of Kazakhstan to reach the carbon neutrality by 2060. In this regard, we are doing a lot of work. We have signed the big 1 gigawatt agreements with the big international companies. Among them, we can name Total, we can name Masdar, we can name list of Chinese companies. You know that the abilities of Kazakhstan, especially on wind, are very, very good and very strong. And we see the possibilities of our large landscape helping by having all those big projects, especially southern Kazakhstan and northern Kazakhstan, where the wind power gives an opportunity to build big wind farm stations. We signed, as I said, we've signed an agreement that giving us the opportunity to get the 15% of renewable energy production by 2030. But we are not forgetting about expanding our base generation and maneuverable generation, because it is not possible only using the green energy in this world. So we will backing it up with base generation and maneuverable generation based on gas, because gas was founded as the transitional fuel in this regard. The APRECA initiative is, by its name, is already saying that Central Asian countries and the region shall combine together, stand together for this transitional period. And we see that it's not only finding the funding, but also giving opportunity for people to study about this. And it is expanding the view of people on green energy, because not many people do understand what is really important, keeping this energy clean for the future generations. We seek an opportunity to have energy now, but we are not thinking how the energy will look like in 10, 15, 20 years. And APECA initiative in this case is giving us this possibility. Talking about Kazakhstan, we are already in this initiative working together with my honorable colleague, Mr. Parviz Shahbazov, on green energy cable that will be laying under the Caspian Sea, and we will export the green energy together with Uzbekistan to the European countries. So this is not only a link between the regional countries, but this is a link between the continents. So we will be able to export our clean energy to Europe, and this will be the benefit and our input to the not only regional but the global green initiative. We also working together with Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan on a big hydropower plant, Kambarata 1. As you know, I recently went to Brussels and I had a meeting with my colleagues, honorable ministers, where we have discussed the principles of financing this project. We see that a lot of financiers are ready to give us the money for this credit, which is not less than $5 billion US dollars. It's a big project, and it is a very, very, how to say, it's maybe the first in the world where three countries, neighboring countries, combining together and solving not only energetical but also the water problems. As you know, the Kazakhstan lays on downstream on water, and we are very dependent, especially on southern regions. So this is also an important. And all those initiatives where Kazakhstan is participating now will not be possible without international organizations and international initiatives also. And here I would like to mark my honorable colleague, Mr. La Camera, and for his great input into the building our Central Asian region as green region. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Minister. I think there's very clear long-term vision here, but also you identified what IRENA can do, which is essentially looking at the perception, developing skills, but also important point about going beyond Central Asia and the South Caucasus as a region to neighboring regions, and how can this region help in decarbonizing the other regions and their political ambitions and commitments. So it's very clear, and we do hope that we can work together to rise up to your expectations. Now I wanted to turn to Honorable Pavas Shabasov. Minister, you've been a leader. Azerbaijan hosted COP29 last year, which was a major milestone in green energy transition, climate commitments. In the recent years, the region has been making a lot of progress on renewable energy development through active implementation of projects and commitments to increase further development. Now, you alluded to about 5 gigawatts of renewable energy this year in Central Asia and Azerbaijan. And so what are the recent developments? You alluded to some of these in your interventions earlier. What are the recent developments in renewable energy development in Azerbaijan? What are the main challenges and opportunities arising from these developments, and how can a platform like APRECA support you at the regional or global level? Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me use this opportunity again and thank all the organizers for bringing together all the partners, because the value of this cooperation is very high, because in the development of renewable sources of energy and actually optimizing our carbon neutrality activities, international and regional cooperation plays a key role. So let me just come up with the idea that we really need some homework in every single country to do as much as possible in terms of creation of the green energy sources and integration them into the systems. And we all know, and my dear friend Minister Yerlan Akitjanov has already mentioned about the limitations which we have in terms of the renewable energy integration, but they are also, as we also saw during the presentation made by IRENA, that they are good news about the lowering of the prices for the storage systems, which will give another impetus to the development of renewable sources. So we have to do our homework in our countries. But at the same time, without interlinking, without interconnecting between our countries and even more between our regions, we will not be able to bring together, let's say, the centers of consumptions and centers of generations. Because let me just dwell on the country like Kazakhstan with its enormous potential for renewable energy. Yeah, big territories, a lot of winds, a lot of sun. The same I can tell about Uzbekistan, for example. The same I can tell about Azerbaijan. And of course, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, they are all rich of hydro resources, for example. And all these assets, if brought together, if provided for the interconnections between the countries and the regions, so we can get a lot for the energy security, first of all, and the environmental security, if you wish, the contribution to the climate neutrality, which is needed in this or the other way in the coming future. Even if we today rely more on the hydrocarbons, which we do, the countries like Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan, and it is natural because we need, first of all, to provide for the secure energy supply for ourselves and our partners for the future. But at the same time, the world is moving towards green energy, more climate neutrality. And this is undeniable fact. We have to prepare for this. And in this specific issue, the interconnection between the regions will play the great role. Azerbaijan has identified the target to provide for 30% of installed capacity by 2030. But we are going now already to reach more than 30% by 2027. So we have indeed great plans for the domestic development of the green energy agenda. But at the same time, we understand that we are limited with our rich green energy resources. Sun and wind, the Caspian wind especially, is one of the highest potential for the offshore wind in the world. Because without interconnection, we cannot produce more. But through this interconnection, for the first time in our history, we will be able to connect, let's say, Azerbaijan with Kazakhstan immediately through the Caspian Sea, and then Uzbekistan, and then probably the other our partners and neighbors. Even during the Soviet Union, we did not have this interconnection being the part of that time one country. But now we are going to provide it. And of course, the next step that we are working with our interconnectors, which are going to connect us with Europe, Turkey, and other regions. So it will, of course, make the great contribution into our future development. Thank you very much. I will stop here.
Thanks very much, Minister. Again, very visionary statement, and also stressing again the importance of interconnections and taking a more regional approach, which will optimize efforts towards energy security, optimize investments, getting the best returns, but also going beyond national targets and commitments to helping neighboring regions also, and in that process being realistic about the future of traditional energy resources and how they are changing, and how the region can, through interconnections and a much larger effort, take advantage of this changing global landscape. Very, very visionary indeed. And thank you, Minister, for always being a great supporter of IRENA and our initiatives, which we do very much appreciate. Minister, Excellency Juma, Tajikistan has very rich hydropower and other renewable energy resources, which other ministers have alluded to. And it does play, at least the hydro, in a significant role in your energy mix. And you alluded to today morning that there are plans to change that, do more renewable energy investments in the country. So how does an initiative such as APRECA and our plans that we alluded, how is it relevant to Tajikistan and your plans? And how can we do more to help you or support you with the utilization of non-hydrogen renewable power and also green hydrogen? Over to you.
No, thank you very much. Before to take that question, let me take the opportunity to thank our colleagues from Kazakhstan, in particular the government of Republic of Kazakhstan and Ministry of Energy of Kazakhstan, particularly a colleague of mine, Mr. Ilan Akinjanov, for the traditional warm and generous hospitality, and wish every success in organizing this very important event, the Kazakhstan Energy Forum, which I understand the 20th anniversary this year, and which is actually becoming a very significant platform, regional platform for discussing the issues around energy. To your point, yeah, as you mentioned, and colleagues here, that Tajikistan has one of the highest hydro potentials in the region. The hydro potential is 527 billion kilowatt hours a year, and if you just look at the Central Asian market, it's a 400 billion kilowatt hours. We, as you rightly mentioned, have been really building or learning from the very significant success of Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan in terms of development of the renewable energies, and we are also entering into these aspects. We are about to sign 3 investment agreements for a total of 1.5 gigawatts this year, which will aiming by 2030 to increase the renewable, mainly solar, of the in total of 2 gigawatt should be commissioned by 2030, which is in line with our Tajikistan national development strategy. I think in terms of green climate agenda, over 95% of, as far as the power sector is concerned, the 95% of electricity we produce comes from hydro, but by 2032, all the power sectors will be relied on hydro, solar, and wind, and we are removing from the fossil fuel. And I think what I would like to say, and a little bit reflect on what my colleague, Mr. Parviz Shahbazov, was also reflecting, is that any potential, energy potential of each country, we can really synergize and build on this a lot, and for this we need the green connectivity, and I know they're very ambitious, but I would say doable plans both of Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan in terms of developing more of the renewable energy that certainly raise up the point of energy balance, and I think Tajikistan, along with Kyrgyz Republic, can really bring that the delta in terms of the energy balance. I think it's a good, the best hybrid of renewable energy, which is the the hydro, and to this respect, we are advancing the almost 3.8 gigawatt hydropower plant in Tajikistan called Rogun, which I think which will not only increase the 70% of our generation capacity in the country, but I think that can play a significant role in terms of energy balance for the Central Asia. And a good example would be the recent example is Kyrgyz Republic and Tajikistan have recently completed the construction of Kasa 1000 projects where will be commissioned in the first commercial will be 2027, and ultimately the two countries of Central Asia will be exporting electricity to to Pakistan of 5 billion kilowatt hours per season, which represents roughly 5% of the green energy that Pakistan requires. So the same way I think we can do the Central Asian countries where traditionally they've continued to focus and will rely on the fossil fuel. So in terms of our interactions with IRENA and particularly as part of the APRECA projects, I think there's 3 areas that we will continue to work together. It is the data and analysis. I think this is of extreme importance, and see how to process these data and make them meaningful in terms of developing our strategy. And then it's a policy and strategy itself. Tajikistan's continued to make to advance its reforms in the energy sector in overall, and I think the policy and strategy where the IRENA has the experience, we will continue to and welcome to work together on advancing these aspects. And third one is, of course, as my colleague said, is the facilitating in terms of attracting financing investment to the mega projects that we have in planned in Tajikistan, particularly in renewable energy. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Minister. Again, Tajikistan has, in a sense, inbuilt storage inertia in the system because of hydro. You're developing for the hydro, but also having very significant ambitions in terms of solar. And as you suggested, IRENA would be very pleased to provide our data and analytics to support Tajikistan and other member states to use it in creating long visionary policies, but also in terms of finance facilitation that my Director General referred to. We will bring it to support your initiatives. Also, thank you for bringing the other regional dimension of South Asia. The ministers earlier alluded to linkage between Central Asia and South Caucasus with Europe, but there is also South Asia, which is another region which is neighboring, which could benefit from the renewable energy developments in this region. So thank you for that statement as well. So at this stage, we would like to go back to the first item, which is on the agenda, which is the signing of the MOU between the IRENA and the Ministry of Ecology and Natural Resources of Republic of Kazakhstan. So we will take a break, do the MOU ceremony now, and then we'll continue with the rest of the panels. Also at this stage, wanted to thank Excellencies, the ministers from Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, and Tajikistan for their valuable insights and directives to IRENA on what we should be doing under APRECA. We'll try to follow this through with your officials and then try and deliver it in the shortest time possible. Thanks very much. And we break now for the MOU ceremony. Thank you.
this is conference house.
Moved to important institutions from the region and also the countries. So this will focus more on implementation of some of the political commitments that the ministers alluded to in the earlier part of this segment. So I'd like to welcome first Ms. Sule Kilic, the director of the Eurasian Energy Department of EBRD, very important institution which is supporting energy transition in Central Asia and the South Caucasus. I'd also like to welcome Mr. Nabi Aidsanov, Chairman of the Management Board of Kazakhstan Electricity Grid Operating Company. I'd also like to welcome Mr. Ularbek, the Deputy General Director of Commercial Affairs of National Electric Grid Company of Kyrgyz Republic. I'd also like to welcome Aysel Yagubova, who's the newly minted Executive Director of the Clean Energy Center of ECO, the Economic Cooperation Organization for the region. And finally, last but not the least, I'd like to welcome Michele Nicora, the Head of Renewables Central Asia of IRENA Consulting. Welcome to all the panelists. So let me start with you, Mrs. Kilic. As a key financial institution supporting energy projects in the region, EBRD has been instrumental in promoting sustainable energy development. Now, what are your plans to increase your financial footprint and accelerate the energy transition in this region? And if you wish to, how do you see initiatives such as APRECA from IRENA contributing to this efforts from your side? Over to you.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank you, IRENA, for organizing this roundtable. I think it's very timely, as always, and very important agenda for all of us, because now the cooperation and coordination becomes the key for the future of our energy security and energy system in the region. Very briefly, as you may know, EBRD is one of the largest investors in the Central Asia, and Central Asia is very important in our portfolio as EBRD. And greening of our economies and green transition is the main work stream of our bank, and very important in our country strategies. And just to give some idea, in Central Asia, as EBRD, we have financed 4.2 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity, investing close to 4 billion euro in the countries of Central Asia. And just only for Kazakhstan, we have financed close to 1 gigawatt of solar and wind projects with financing of close to 700 million euro, and plus bringing in over 110 million euro of concessional financing from global climate funds. And I mean, for EBRD, we are not just really a financing institution, but we consider this as a triangle structure where we also would like to play an important role in the policy making side of our countries of operation, as well as the bringing in technical support with our structuring expertise in the countries that we operate. And the financing comes as the third leg, because without setting up the well-structured policy and regulatory framework together with the workable and bankable structure in place, financing alone cannot really serve the purposes. And the important thing here needs to be a very balanced structure with the necessary risk diversification and putting the right player in the right place in the balanced structure. And of course, as you may know, for EBRD, bringing in the private sector and private capital into our countries of operations is the main objective. And to achieve that, we work very closely with our ministries as a very important stakeholder for us, such that we put the right regulatory framework with the right risk mitigation factors in such a way that private sector is attracted to countries that we have these investments in place. And that's why we work very closely with our distinguished ministries and ministry teams, and I'm very thankful to actually all our Central Asian countries for very close cooperation we have with them, and that's the result why we are having such a good results in our Central Asian countries. And now, as you also mentioned in your presentation, we cannot really anymore achieve the demand side needs of the energy just with the megawatt of investments. We need to go ahead now with the gigawatts. And that's why we are seeing all the countries that we are operating now putting targets for their year 2030s or 35, multiple gigawatt of capacity in the renewable energy to top up the existing capacities that and they have. And I mean, Central Asia is very important, and also there is an increasing interest in the private sector side, but this will get to maximum only if we can set up the system in a workable and bankable manner with the right setup. And from that point of view, we believe in that public finance is very critical and will play the catalytic role for the risk sharing, cushioning shocks and enabling infrastructure such that private capital can be mobilized. And from that point of view, while all these renewable energy investments to be made, we cannot forget the infrastructure, transmission system, the distribution network, as well as the necessary balancing system to be set up, and otherwise renewable energy system, not only just renewable, but the whole energy system may not really work in the balanced manner. So renewable energy, especially wind and solar, is of course not really for the base load, and hydros play a very important role for the base load purposes in addition to gas and fuel. And for the greening and decarbonization of the economies, what I see is in Central Asia is actually very nice balance of Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan bringing the hydro side and the balancing side of our renewable energy system, while Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan is bringing the very big potential on the wind and solar side. So it's a very balanced ecology. And so the important thing is, of course, interconnection among the countries and the right setup of the balancing system such that this renewable energy together with the base load energy system can work in a very good harmony. So from that point of view, we believe in the regional cooperation as the very important for achieving this and tapping this tremendous potential, and unified grid can then rely on the renewables of the Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, balanced with the hydro capacity of the Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. Of course, while we are talking all these gigawatt investments and pipeline that we have, which we are very much excited to provide support for, we should not still forget the small-scale renewable energy projects, because they are still also very important. And as you may imagine, although we have large teams in each of our countries of operations in Central Asia, for the smaller projects, what we do is we cooperate very closely with our partner financing institutions and local financing institutions in each of the countries by providing green economy financing to these financing institutions. We also try to support the smaller sized renewable energy systems. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Very fascinating. Thank you for underlining that financing is only part of the picture. Institutional structuring, also de-risking, using public finance to leverage private capital is important. But also thank you for emphasizing the role of small systems, and that is also one of the advantages. While we started talking about gigawatt scale renewables of late, traditionally renewables have been producing energy where it's needed, using the resources available. So this is this other benefit of renewables, that you can have smaller systems catering to households or small businesses in decentralized parts of the Central Asia and other regions. IRENA has an MOU with EBRD, and we hope to engage further with you in this region so that we can actually use your expertise and understanding of financing and the structuring here, that we can accelerate energy transition in this region. Thank you very much. Let me now move on to Mr. Aitsenau, the chairman of the managing board of Kazakhstan Electricity Grid Operating Company. Kazakhstan, as the minister alluded to, is a major energy player in this region and has significant potential for renewable energy development. What are your plans in terms of renewable energy, particularly with respect to the national grid and integrating it to the national grid, considering that currently the electricity system is dominated by fossil fuels? So what are your plans? And if you could also reflect on how an initiative from IRENA, like APRECA, could contribute to your efforts in this regard. Thank you.
Dear guests, dear colleagues, Mr. Binu Partan, thank you for your question.
With your permission, I would like to continue in Russian. So, as it was said before by my colleagues, Kazakhstan is a country that has a vast potential in terms of energy sector, and we've been actively contributing to energy transition and transiting from fossil fuels to renewables. And this process actually is not just a part of setting up a fundamental opportunities for the country, but it also opens up the doors for innovations and economic growth. In accordance with the plans that were mentioned by the minister, thanks to introduction of new capacities by 2035, the deficit in Kazakhstan may come to 9 gigawatt, and the overall capacity is going to be doubled, and it is going to be exceeding over 50 gigawatts. So this is whatever we're planning. So it is expected to have new gas generation in amount of 7/8 gigawatts, so atomic 2.4 gigawatt. And in regards to renewables, I'd like to say that we plan to have a growth fivefold and we have 3.1 gigawatt, and we plan to have 14.6. So the share of renewables, that is what's said by the minister, is going to be about 27% by 2035, as opposed to 6.8% we have currently. And at the same time, the targeted indicator by 2030 is going to be 15%, as you know. So within the framework to additional 11.5 gigawatt for renewables, as it was said before by the minister, we have intergovernmental agreements and such large PPA contracts as Masdar, or 1 gigawatt Total, IREN, 1 gigawatt, China Energy, 0.8 gigawatt. And this figure is comprised of those projects, and we plan to have some other projects as well. So let me comment about KIGOX operations. You know that we are the system operator, and we create conditions enabling us to integrate safely the renewables. And our objective, actually, as you have said rightfully, is to ensure sustainable and safe performance of the unified system, thanks to engagement in a couple of areas, demand response, regulating the frequencies and the capacities. This is something that we've been contributing to. This is something that we will use in order to manage the consumption and generation in real time. So development of maneuver capacities, construction of new grid lines, and overall development of the grid system. So in regards to mainline reinforcement, what we have identified as the most important ambitious objectives is, for instance, we've been implementing 2 projects. The first one is reinforcing the grids in the south with the increasing of the capacity by 0.5 gigawatt, and a large project that is going to be uniting the western part of Kazakhstan with the central grid. And in regards to that project, we're going to be having additional capacity in the amount of 500 megawatt through that network. And both of those projects have been commenced, and they're about to be ended in 2027. And plus, we work on a pre-project in order to intensify the transit and capacity of the grid in Kazakhstan and energy system. This is called the line of continuous current north to south, and this will enable us to increase the capacity up to 2 gigawatt. And this is going to be a solution enabling us to effectively integrate renewables. And in addition, as you know, we have also opened the project on building the atomic nuclear station, and this will be supported by the nuclear station which is to be built. So we also have a spectrum of new projects such as digital substation in Astana, and we would like to use modern digital solutions, and thanks to that there's going to be a better efficiency ensured in regards to providing electricity for the capital city of Kazakhstan, as well as merging the renewables that are located in the region. So, by the way, we plan to have the projects on reinforcing Karaganda node, reinforcing the western grid, and thanks to the Western project, we will put together all of the parts of the grid. So overall, we plan to have 7,000 kilometers of new lines that will actually cover all of the regions of the country with the capacity of 500 kilowatt, and this will ensure the safe energy supply, and eventually we would like to cover the entire set of regions in Kazakhstan. And in addition, I'd like to mention about the nuclear station. So in order to ensure the safety, there was a strategic decision made in order to have a couple of nuclear stations, and the first nuclear station is planned to be in Ulken, and the capacity is 2.4 gigawatt. And in terms of nuclear station, this is going to become a stable source of electricity generation, and it will contribute to balancing the energy, to include renewables. In regards to digital technologies mentioned, I'd like to say that we have looked at different digital options. We have emergency response system, automated emergency response, and plus we're going to be having digital twins of the energy systems. And in order to support the energy accumulation system, we have developed the algorithms that are going to be used in order to introduce additional storage up to 3 gigawatts. So currently we have, in addition, the demand response project to optimize the peak consumption periods, and this will enable us to have less load in peak hours and to have no deviations and fluctuations within the grid in Kazakhstan and in neighboring countries. So I mean, we have faced serious challenges that have to do with ensuring the energy transition. But in addition, we think that this is not just a challenge, but a unique opportunity. And eventually, thanks to the modernizations and innovations, we will find ourselves in a position to have the best solutions, and overall we will have a balanced energy system in Kazakhstan. Thank you.
Thanks very much. That's very impressive. You've gone into a lot of detail about your plans, which by its nature is very impressive. And the sense that I get is that KEGOC will go through a major transformation in your network, in your generating systems, bringing in renewables at a significant scale than what was done before, but also bringing in other sources for balancing the network. We also wanted to pick up on the important point you made regarding digitalization, and this is going forward. We see electrical utilities becoming more digital and using artificial intelligence. And I just wanted to highlight that over the next few weeks or so, for the G7 presidency of Canada, IRENA will be bringing out a publication looking at some of the use cases of digitalization and the use of AI in the electrical network. So once it's publicized, we'll share with you. And I'm sure that digitalization and use of AI will also have an important role in this region. So thank you very much for that very detailed projections and details of what KEGOC is planning to do in Kazakhstan and beyond in the region. Let me now turn to Mr. Ulabek, the Deputy General Director of JSC, National Electric Grid of Kyrgyzstan. Mr. Ulabek, your company plays a very important role in Kyrgyzstan's national grid infrastructure. What are your plans to upgrade and modernize the existing grid system, particularly integrate large levels of solar and wind that are expected? And how do you, again, expect a partnership such as APRECA, bringing all the countries in this region, contribute to your plans? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, dearest colleagues and the participants to this roundtable. So firstly, allow me please to appreciate our organizers for putting this roundtable together. And I have no doubts that this roundtable is being held at a very high high level. And in regards to national grid of Kyrgyzstan, we are the system operator and sole source of procurement for electricity in Kyrgyzstan. And in regards to renewables throughout Kyrgyzstan, we've signed in 11 investment agreements, and the capacity is 5.2 gigawatt. And next year, we expect to have the first kilowatt hours from renewables. And therefore, in this regard, we keep working. As you know, in our region overall, for our investors, may enjoy incentives in regards to the incentive tariff. It's around 5 cents, and the guaranteed procurement of electricity is 25 years. So in regards to integration of renewables, the grids certainly do experience some of the issues, and we keep working on finding the solutions. And firstly, the intention is to modernize and reconstruct the current grid and to construct the new capacity, and we partner with EBRD in order to have the new line. This will enable us to ensure a better capacity by 2 gigawatt. And you know that this is going to be really good for solar stations. And in regards to the agenda, and green agenda in particular, and going back to your question regarding the partnership with APRECA and IRENA, I would like to take this opportunity to help us in regards to capacity building and training. And we are really interested in artificial intelligence capacity buildings, because we have no doubts that this is the future of the energy sector. So.
Thanks very much. Again, important aspects regarding renewable energy integration, modernizing the whole grid system, and these are all priority pillars of IRENA. And at the end, you also alluded to the role of AI. Going forward, this is a technology which is transforming all our lives, not just the electricity system. And the emphasis so far has been on the energy demand by AI data centers, not so much in terms of how AI can be utilized to optimize demand forecast or forecasting of renewable energy availability, etc. So there are a lot of opportunities where AI could play an important role in this region. And we also would like to, IRENA has a alliance for utilities for net zero, and we do hope that Kyrgyz grid operator could also join that alliance in the near future. So thanks again for this very important intervention. Let me now move to the role of region institutions. So to Mrs. Aysel Yagubova, who is Executive Director of Clean Energy Center of ECO. Mrs. Yagubova, you as an institution with a regional mandate has an opportunity to promote clean energy technologies in this region. And a lot of the statements that ministers have made, institutions have made, might align with your mandate as well. So how do you plan to collaborate with the member states of ECO to support them in this energy transition? And where do you see a role for partnerships such as APRECA to support this objective?
Thank you very much, Mr. Partan. And I also take this opportunity to join the colleagues, previous speakers, who thanked IRENA for organizing this roundtable and for giving a chance to be here. It's indeed a great pleasure to be in this audience, to be among the speakers of this roundtable. Let me, as you asked the question, let me just briefly introduce the ECO Clean Energy Center, in short, with the abbreviation of CESECO. So the center, it is the established under the joint initiative of Economic Cooperation Organization and UNIDO, United Nations Industrial Development Organization. And the center, it's a part of UNIDO's global network of sustainable energy centers, UNIDO GNSEC. The centers, the GNSEC, which provides and promotes the South-South and triangular cooperation. Along with our center, currently there are 10 centers comprising UNIDO GNSEC. And it's indeed an honor to be part of that network, which provides a lot of opportunities for the peer exchange, for the exchanging of expertise, bringing the know-how and technologies to the region. So the charter of our center has been signed by the 6 ECO member states, namely Azerbaijan, Kyrgyz Republic, Pakistan, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. And the ECO member states and overall the region, the Central Asia, has diverse development levels and resources. But at the same time, we all know that they share also common challenges, namely the energy security, industrial competitiveness, and the climate changes. The region overall holds vast renewable energy potential, ranging from solar to wind resources, and also we heard today the geothermals and also modern bioenergy. And the mission of SESECO, of our center, is to facilitate the member states in achieving the renewable energy and energy efficiency project. The SESECO has been mandated to support and execute the projects on renewable energy and energy efficiency with the focus of the regional impact. Another task that's ahead of us is to promote renewable energy and energy efficiency technologies in the region. The third task is mobilizing financial and technical resources with the coordination and through our international partners and for the regional's development by the member states. The center will also act as a catalyst for the capacity building and the capacity development in the region. As it was mentioned earlier at the roundtable by the distinguished ministers, there are already a number of interregional renewable energy connectors launched in the region. And for this process, for these renewable energy projects, interregional connectors to go smoothly, we know that the capital expenditures, technological innovations, supply chain, and also know-how is very important and vital and needed for the member states. So we, as a SESECO, with our international partners, we aim to bring all together, kind of to coordinate the efforts of member states in implementing these regional projects and to bring them together with the IFIs, lending institutions, and also international institutions. And let me also mention that it was also mentioned by IRENA during the COP29 by Azerbaijan presidency, a number of renewable energy initiatives were put forward, such as green energy corridors, energy storage, hydrogen powers. And it's good to see that the regional states, which are also in APRECA and also ECO member states, have supported this initiative. So it really shows their readiness to participate in all these activities related to these initiatives. And by all means, the SESECO will also be within the initiatives and the projects related to conducting those initiatives. And I once again want to thank those member states that have joined SESECO and which are in APRECA for their readiness to contribute to and to benefit from the center's activities. And since we mentioned possible cooperation with APRECA, how we can leverage and from APRECA's this opportunity, we definitely it's an added value. We see it as an added value that we have this APRECA initiative where the high-level dialogue among the ministers of related spheres of the member states take place, and which contribute to the regular exchange of practices and knowledge sharing in order also to avoid the duplication of any projects that can be taken in the region. So SESECO also sees this opportunity as an added value, and we are ready to closely in the future cooperate with IRENA and namely also APRECA. Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed. And obviously, SESECO has a very powerful mandate. And again, there are overlaps with IRENA and APRECA. And we really look forward to working closely with you. I think the IRENA, in most of the regions, we work with region partners who are on the ground and who have a much better sense of what is needed. And we look forward to collaborating very closely with you. Last but not the least, I think the role of private sector was referred to by several speakers, but it's also important that private sector service provider, in a sense, has the last word. So, Mr. Nikora, you're the head of renewables of RENA Consulting. Now, one of the issues which have been in the news a lot is the issue of supply chains. So Central Asia's renewable energy supply chain, as you know, faces some challenges, two of which is really fragmented procurement strategies and also complexity of the cross-border logistics. What are the particular bottlenecks in this supply chain, and what are the solutions which do you think from your vantage point can be offered to this region? And also when you do that, if you can also reflect on what an initiative such as APRECA and international institution like IRENA could be helpful in this regard. Over to you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the invitation. I really appreciated to be here and for this interesting question. I'm sorry to give my shoulders to some of the audience. In any case, let's be honest, the situation of supply chain is not so bad, even if getting renewable energy projects off the ground in the Central Asia region is not always, smooth sailing. We at RENA Consulting work as technical advisor and engineers in renewable energy projects in the region, and we can observe some inefficiencies in the renewable energy supply chain. First, as you mentioned, procurement strategies can vary a lot between countries, leading to mismatched component standards and integration challenges. For instance, a market like could be Kazakhstan favors European Union certified equipment, while other markets maybe are more, prioritize more cost, often sourcing from Eastern manufacturers. This lack of alignment slows things down and can complicate sometimes integration, as was said before. Second, logistics is another key critical issue. Delays at border crossings like cargos that sometimes can exceed 30 days are typical of outdated customs procedures and limited digital coordination between countries. These delays impact construction timelines and increase project risk, and that means losing money, time, and investor confidence sometimes. So coming back to the second part of your question, so what can we do to address these challenges? Well, first, if I can say, we can think to a regional task force to align technical standards, and maybe also IRENA can have a role on this, tracking, I mean, not to unify everything, but at least to have a common baseline. Second, let's digitize, and digitalization was one of the key arguments, the key topic of today, digitize border processes. I guess that blockchain-based custom tracking and pre-clearance system could cut delays in a significant way. And third, we should think beyond borders. This is a super important philosophy that I guess it's important and valid in all sectors and also in logistics as well. Shared logistic hubs and green transport corridors could make the whole supply chain more efficient and more sustainable. At IRENA, as engineers, we are already helping clients navigate these challenges, from the engineering design to the advisory support, and we are ready to help build the bridges Central Asia needs. Thank you for the attention.
Thanks very much. And you touched upon some of the practical challenges on delivering these high levels of ambition. And again, the point that while it might be easier to plan interconnections, but they need to be delivered on the ground, and then trying to have these, let's say, border-free movement of goods and services is as important, and also the need for harmonization of technical standards to accelerate this. We do hope that this is something that we can work with the member states to achieve and support them. So that was the final intervention that we had. We had actually planned for opening it up for questions, but again, we have completely run out of time. But again, if there is at least one pressing question that anyone want to raise to the panelists, we can take that. If not, we can move to the closing session. So is there one or two questions from anyone that we should raise? If not, I think the panel were very clear. So please join me in thanking all the panelists for some excellent interventions. So the whole event, IRENA participation in this, could not have happened without the important role of Gas Energy, who have been with us from day one, and the fact that we are all here, a lot of the ministers here, is all thanks to Gas Energy and its very dynamic Director General, Excellency Zandos Nurmagomedov Betov. So I just wanted you to have the last word, but before you do that, we, on behalf of IRENA, my Director General and our colleagues, we really want to appreciate all the efforts and support from your side. And we also have an MOU, and this is one good example of a very functional and very effective MOU. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will not take your time. Thank you for patience. I would like to express my gratitude to the distinguished speakers. We had a very high-level discussion, and we have heard their commitments to the goals of decarbonization, and it's very good. And I want to thank this audience, the strongest people in this room, because lunchtime, so I will not take your time. I want to thank everyone, and I want to thank IRENA, and Kazakhstan as a participant of IRENA have gained all the positive moments of IRENA's opportunities given to the region, because all of our policy, we have discussed about the policy. Policy is important. We did not invent anything. We took international practices, we took your workshops, and we have invented some of the best achieving results policies. Let's say the cheapest price for wind and solar is in Kazakhstan, is due to the auction system, which has been designed by, again, your knowledge and your participation. I want to thank IRENA, and I think APRECA, Kazakhstan also supports, and I can't wait to see the results, which in several ways we can discuss that because of APRECA, region have become more resilient, more green, and I thank you very much, and I want to wish you a good stay in Astana. Please enjoy. Thank you very much.